I'm just about to cry like a little girl. So, I was in here about 4 hours ago, and thought I would kind of practice in the empty room, kind of mouthing the word. But I don't cry much. And when I do, I like to do it on camera, on the internet, in front of a bunch of people. So that's what we're going to do. And so, in order to bring the intensity down just a little bit, I'm actually going to insert a commercial in the middle of this. That's actually true. So, right. Good afternoon. I'm here to talk to you about my hero. But I didn't take long. He is my inspiration, my mentor, and is almost single-handedly responsible for making me who I am. And I started to write this, and I thought I want this to be eloquent and moving and comprehensive and all that. And I immediately lowered the bar. There's no amount of words, anything that's going to say all that I want to say today. So, but I hope what I say here, I can just give you a little glimpse of who it was. Can't say that. We'll get there, Paul. I promise we're going to get there. Okay. First, I have never seen, nor have ever heard of anyone who worked harder than Merlyn Merritt. I've heard it said that men were designed by God to use themselves up, to spend themselves in the service to their wives, their families, and their communities. And this is exactly what Dad did. In his later years, he might have sometimes wished he hadn't used himself up quite as much as he did, but I don't think he ever regretted it because he knew that that's what he was doing. King Solomon wrote in Ecclesiastes, the wisest man who ever lived, wrote in Ecclesiastes 5:18 through 20. Here is what I have seen to be good and fitting, to eat, to drink, and enjoy oneself in all one's labor in which he toils under the sun, during the few years of life which God has given him. For this is his reward. Furthermore, as for every man to whom God has given riches and wealth, he has also empowered him to eat from them and to receive his reward and rejoice in his labor. This is the gift of God. For he will not often consider the years of his life, because God keeps him occupied with the gladness of his heart. Dad found great joy in his work and in a job well done. I'm going to pause right here because Solomon, in his all of his great wisdom, was talking about eating and drinking. And we're going to do some of that, okay? So there's a plan, okay? So exit from the eulogy for 1 second here. Okay, there is a plan. It is in place, but it has not been communicated to nearly anyone. Okay, so I'm communicating that now. Okay, when we finish this service here, we're all going to leave and just go over here to church, and the church has to go on and prepare for their next service coming up. We, however, have reserved the entire deck at the Three Little Pigs right down the road in Daleville for after the service, and anyone who wishes is welcome to come and join us there. That word was supposed to have sort of trickled out as we went. It didn't. So anyway, feel free to come and join us. We have the whole deck. We've got the tent. We've got heaters. We've got all the stuff down there. So you're welcome to join us down there if you'd like. Bring your coat, and the food is provided. So please come and join us. That's our version of the reception. So. And now back to your eulogy. Dad found great joy in his work and in a job well done. Do it right the first time. Amaze your customers. And he was. so good at it. And now I run a business similar to the one he ran in his honor, his work ethic, his high standards. They guide and propel me every single day. I think about him, and I wish he was out there working. He would always say, in the last few years, he said, "Man, I wish I could come out and just come out and help you, be there with you." I would like nothing better than that. I'm so proud of my dad. I've always been proud of my dad. But you know, there are moments when something that you already know comes very keen and very clear. And one day when I was probably a teenager, older teenager, he said, "Come on, we're going to go help the house." So the church was building a Habitat for Humanity house. Dad told me he'd be over for a few hours. He said, "Come on, let's go." So we walked into the house. And it was swarming with people. And it was drywall day. Now, you ever watch? We've all seen like artists, classical pianists, dancers, highly skilled people doing performances, but I think we all know we've seen someone who is a genuine expert at what they're doing, a genuine master at what they're doing. And it doesn't matter what it is. When you see a master doing what the master does, to me it's always fascinating. And so my father was, he was freaking Beethoven with drywall. Okay? And so it was drywall day at the Habitat for Humanity house, and we walked down the hall, and all the walls are framed, but you can see everywhere because there's no drywall. And up into the mall, this room, there were 25 people in there. 25 men in there serving their God and serving their community, and and God bless them. Did you get that? God, the Lord bless them, bless their soul. No, they had the sawhorses and drywall and measuring and fitting the pieces and turning and scratching their heads, and we went this way because this corner was just an empty room. And so we walked into that room, and Dad puts on his tool belt, and he's got his drywall hammer and his with a little utility knife, and gets a handful of drywall nails, and fastens his Superman cape around his neck, and my dad started slinging drywall, and I was like Robin to Batman, So Dad was, and it was magical. He would do the, because you've got all the stuff in the walls, you got to cut around the windows and electrical outlets, and it was just perfect every time. Yeah. It was amazing. And then he would tack it up. And then he's on to the next board, and me and one other guy were just hammering as fast as we can. We're just nailing, trying to keep up with it. And after a little while, and this was when it struck me, the beauty of what I was seeing as I turned around. This whole wall back here, this whole unfinished wall on this side. There's at least 15 men standing in all those gaps there, just watching Dad work. And I really thought my dad ate the cake. It was, I've been proud of my dad many, many, many times. But that was a moment where I was really genuinely in awe of what I was seeing. When I was 7 years old, Dad started taking me hunting. For many years, we hunted almost every Saturday between about October and January. And there are many, many things I could say about that, and I simply don't have time, but I'll say this. Some of the richest, most meaningful, future-defining, character-forming experiences of my whole life happened as I found it. Walking through the woods with my dad. It's where I learned to be observant, be decisive, to be patient and wait, to endure, to take action. It's where I became a man. It's where God poured his life into me. And we had fun, and we brought home to me. But the value of that time in my life simply cannot be measured. And Dad and I continued on together until just a handful of years ago. And I still hunt every season since I was 7 years old. And still I never walked in the woods without my dad was there. Last, I want to say that, and you all know this, my dad loved people, all kinds of people. Mostly loved Mom. She was absolutely the apple of his eye, and we never had any doubt. Mom was always first. And he bragged about her behind her back all the time. When we were kids, right? Even when we were kids, he talked about her behind her back all the time. He talked about her in front of her too, but he kept talking when she wasn't there. I think he spent his whole married life shocked that he got one as good. You don't mind telling about you. He loved Paul and me, of course. We always knew that. Never had a moment of doubt. But then came the grandkids. And there was maybe a little while there, sis, where you and I were pretty much just big people that the grandkids lived with. We had that discussion. Do you get the idea that it wasn't about memory loss at that point? He just kind of forgot that we existed. Anyway, my point is, my dad loved darn near everybody. He never met a stranger. He could strike up a conversation with anyone at any time, effortlessly. And I imagine everybody in the room knows that as well. And we never went anywhere, ever, without running into a seemingly endless supply of people that Dad knew and needed to talk with. Glad I'm not like that. It was this love for people that caused my dad to be the most generous man I have ever known. He knew the value of everything he had, and he was always quick to give to whoever was in need. He did so much work for so many people, using his knowledge, his skills, his tools, his equipment, whatever he had, and he didn't ask for a thing in return. I remember riding around when it snowed just so we could find stuck cars to tow out of ditches. I can't tell you how many cars we towed out of ditches. It brought him great joy, and it made me very, very proud to be his son. So thanks, Dad. You set a really high bar, and one that I'm afraid is beyond me. But you also cleared a path. You showed me what it looks like to be a man, and standing on your thick, strong shoulders. I might just make it. I love you, Dad, and I'll be seeing you.